Hey everybody, this is Mike with Helion 3 and today I'm here to show you Sequent. Sequent is a new iOS color farming puzzle game, and to show you what that means, I'm going to begin a new game. I'll skip the tutorial and turn off the excellent background music. Now, you begin each game with a randomly generated single color tile. It's a plant. And this black space is just an infinite farm. This is the universe, and this is the last color in the universe. Now, every color is made up of red, green, and blue values. So I've got this kind of slate colored blue, and if I touch and hold that square, it's going to pop out the red, green, and blue values. I've just harvested that color. So you can see up at the top, I've got 48 red, 65 green, and 86 blue. Those values are making up this slate color. Now, if you have 255 red and green and blue, that makes pure white. 0 to 255 for each of those values. So that's the maximum. Now, one of the tricks in this game is that if you ever exceed 255 red, green, and blue, I mean, you can pick up as many tiles as you'd like. If you exceed 255, you can only plant 255 at a time. So I'll show you what that looks like. So I've picked up two tiles. There are two tiles there. One of them grew from the other one. That just happened automatically. Don't worry about it. So I've got this kind of lighter shade of the slate color, and I'm going to plant it now. If you touch any black tile, tap and hold, it's going to plant whatever colors you have up there. So I've planted one tile, and it's grown into the tiles around it. And eventually those are going to begin growing into the tiles around them. Once a color gets too dark, it'll stop growing. You don't want to see a whole bunch of things that look black but really aren't. So they'll get pretty dark, but they won't get past a certain threshold. So I have the slate color, but I really want to get some other color. The goal of this game, if I open the achievements window, the goal of the game is to go from this beginning tile to all of these colors: white, navy, blue, azure, etc. All the way reds, greens, pinks, yellows, oranges, all your favorites are there. So I've planted this blue color, and what I really want to do is I want to get to white first. I want to max them all out. White's really not going to help me ever. White's kind of the easy to achieve achievement. So I'm going to get there. I'm going to tap and hold on some of these color tiles again. And for each one that I pick up, it's going up there to my color store, my color palette. Now each one is adding its red, green, and blue components to this mixture. So I'm getting this much lighter shade of the color. So if I tap and hold a black square, I'm going to plant that again. And so now I've got this kind of this old farm over here of my teal, or sorry, not teal, slate colors. And over here I've got my light sky blue. So if I begin picking this up, I'm eventually going to hit white because I'm really getting a bunch of colors now. So I've got white now. I have more than 255 in each of those values. So I just popped out a magnifying glass. This is something that happens randomly. If you tap it, if we tap it, that's going to go into the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. This is something that you want to save for later. Essentially, a magnifying glass will let you look at the RGB values, the red, green, and blue values of any tile that's already on the board. So I'll show you what this looks like. I've got this one over here, and I'll tap it once to highlight it. This has got more of a purplish color to it. How did that happen? Well, essentially, when you're planting, just like real life plants, any genetics, any reproduction of a living creature, you have the possibility of a mutation. So every once in a while, you will have a slight mutation in either the red value or the green value, the blue value, and that can produce a brand new branch of colors. This is a purplish color, so that tells me that there's more red in there. And I shouldn't have picked it up when I had white. That was me not paying attention. But I tapped and held a black square to plant my white. I got my white achievement. Yay me. And now I have, because of subtraction, because I can only plant 255 of red, green, and blue at any time, that means that I had some left over. Now, here's one of the tricks that I use. Sometimes planting the pure white can leave something behind. They can leave values behind that give you a color you've never had before. So I just picked up a bunch of these, light blue tiles over here. I planted white, which was 255 of each of those. And I was left with this much brighter, if you compare it, much brighter sky blue. That's like a nice summer's day blue. But I still had a ton of blue. I had more than 255 blue. So now I'm left with 104. But I've used up all my red, I've used up all my green. They kind of went along with this light blue over here. So if I tap and hold, I'm going to be planting that pure blue, and it's going to grow into those adjacent tiles. Now, when a color grows, it's being impacted by the tiles around it. I don't have a ton of colors right now, but because I planted this blue in a sea of blackness, it's the colors that are growing are going to be a mixture of blue and black, so kind of an averaging of the colors. If I start picking up a bunch of these are all pure blue. They grew from that pure blue seed that I just put in there. And, oh, cool, there's another magnifying glass. I have now collected a ton of blue. The great thing about this is that I'm going to want pure blue later on. I'm going to use it a bunch. So if you just tap, you don't hold, just tap any black tile, you can turn it into a void tile, just like these. A void tile is something that a color can't grow through. So I've got this mixture of colors on the outside, but if I plant my blue inside, then that's safe. I'm never going to have anything mix with that blue and mess it up. It's always going to be pure blue. And I got my blue achievement. So this doesn't always happen this way, but I only have 128 blue left. That's the magic number. If we check the achievements here for Navy 00128, I need 128 blue to get my Navy achievement. So I'll just quickly make a little section here and plant that blue, and I got my Navy achievement. So every time you do planting or harvesting, you see little blue stars coming out. And those are knowledge. Your knowledge influences the chances of getting a tool like the magnifying glass, the chances of a genetic mutation, the speed of the planting and harvest actions, and a bunch of other things. So as you gain knowledge, things become a little bit easier. You're rewarded a little bit more often, but at the same time, things are becoming more challenging. So I've got my pure blue, and so if I want to keep working towards pure green, I can. I've got some grays. I've got these lighter blues have some greenish tints to them. Every once in a while, you're going to get a genetic mutation that gives you a slight yellowish color or a slight greenish color or a slight reddish color. You can use those to your advantage. You can start kind of filtering those out. I won't spend all the time on the tutorial doing that, but I'll probably put out an additional video with some great tips and tricks. So this is Sequent, and it's a great puzzle game. It's great for meditation. There are no in-app purchases. You can play it whenever you like. It works on iPhone 4S and higher at the moment. There's an update pending on the iTunes Store to properly fix this for iOS 7 support. It should have been listed for 7, but wasn't. That was my fault. And this is currently on the App Store for $1.99. Works great on the iPad and the iPhone. And as I mentioned quickly earlier, there's a great selection of background music that you can download. That's an option. You can download that. That's music that's done by a bunch of very talented people on SoundCloud. Some open source licensed music from some very talented artists. That's been hand-picked for your enjoyment. So that's Sequent. Please send us an email at help@helion3.com if you have any questions, and check out our website. Thank you.